What's going on, everybody? It's GameUnboxingReviews here, and welcome back to another LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2 news update. So today's news update is going to be a short one, and that is mainly because yesterday was of course the final day of E3 2017, and they really didn't reveal that much more for LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2. But you gotta understand, I mean, they gave us a whole demo which showcased a big chunk of Chronopolis. We got to see interiors, we got to see new characters, we got to see the first level, we got to see cutscenes, we got to see characters' voices, you know, we got to see loads of really cool things at just E3 alone. So if they added anything more than that, they'd probably be showing too much. You've got to leave some other reveals for other events. So I completely understand why not a lot was revealed yesterday. However, despite that, I still have some very cool things to talk about. So without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, so first up, let's talk about the grab attack ability. Now, during some of the gameplay live streams, I noticed this new ability the characters have where they can actually pick up enemies and they can even walk around with them, and eventually you actually start seeing them punch them while they're holding them. And this is of course a feature that we did see in LEGO Batman 2, so I think it's great to see it finally make a return, and may I even say a little bit improved in LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2. You know, I obviously with the LEGO Marvel's Avengers game, of course, when you pressed circle, you'd actually do like a special move, but this time around it seems like you have a grab attack. But special moves have not been removed. There's still some really cool special moves in the game, and I can't wait to see when they showcase more of them. Next up, I have some new details on Groot. Now, I absolutely loved everything they showed of Groot at E3 2017. I particularly love how you can play as Baby Groot and transform into Big Groot, or of course, you know, Big Groot to Baby Groot, depending on which one you're playing as at the time. I think that is brilliant because it really gives you so much player choice. But they also showed off some cool new abilities, and one of them that I really like is that Groot could actually turn into a huge ball. Now, judging by what I've seen from the gameplay, I think this is clearly a reference to the We Are Groot scene from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, which is of course a very emotional but amazing and iconic scene from the first movie. Next up, we now have some gameplay of Cowboy Captain America, and he looks really cool. One of the things I really like is that when he actually defends himself with his shield, there's like this cool little sparkly special effect. It looks really nice, and I love how bright and colourful he is, because if you look in the background, you can actually see some cowboys, and they are also really bright and colourful. So I think what that means is the Old West side of Chronopolis is probably going to be very classic Old West Marvel Comics, and that sounds quite exciting. I'm very excited to see, you know, just how classic they're going to go with this game, because from the sound of it, they are going to be going very, very deep into Marvel Comics. Now, we also saw classic Captain America, who I've got to say has some pretty sweet new moves, and it seems to me that what they'll probably be doing with this version is making him part of the story. It doesn't seem like they're using the MCU Captain America at the moment, but hopefully those variants are in the game as well, because they are still great costumes. But still, this looks really cool, and like I said in my previous video, I love how he can slide on the shield. I think that is awesome. Really, really nice addition to his combat system. Now, Rocket Raccoon, of course, has his blaster, which he can shoot in the game. We've seen that several times now. If you look carefully, you can also see he has claws, so he might be able to cut things like Spider-Man 2099. But one of the things I also noticed is when you hold down a button, he actually shoots like a deadly laser. So he kind of has two weapons, so that's pretty cool. But probably the best thing about Rocket and Groot in this game is the fact that they can team up together. You can see in the gameplay Rocket sitting on top of Groot, and you can actually switch between the two even while they're teamed up, which is really, really nice. But hands down, the coolest thing about this is this special move right here, which involves the two teaming up, and you can see here that Rocket just goes crazy, just firing everything in sight. So awesome, and very reminiscent, of course, of that scene in the prison in the first movie, which is such a great scene in the movie. Next up, we have some new details on the Inhumans. Now, Lockjaw's attacks are pretty simple. They basically just involve him diving into a bunch of enemies, but it's still pretty funny to watch. And they have confirmed that he can teleport, we just don't know how. My guess is it's probably like in LEGO Marvel Superheroes 1, where Doctor Strange could go up to a vent, and then he could teleport to the other side. Or not, they might have added more to it this time around. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. But also, we do know that his idle animation involves him nodding off to sleep, which you gotta admit is pretty cute. Now, Medusa, on the other hand, has these crazy attacks where she just hits enemies with her hair, and it's just insane to watch. And honestly, I've got to say, that must have been an absolute nightmare for the animators to recreate, and they've done a really, really great job, so the hard work definitely paid off there. And of course, if you're wondering, her idle animation involves her drying her hair with a hairdryer. You've, of course, got to have that. Now, in other character-related news, we also have this very interesting quote from Arthur Parsons. So, when asked if 1602 would be in the game, Arthur replied with, and I quote, "Oh yeah, we're going everywhere. We're going everywhere we possibly can," end quote. Now, this is very interesting because I think it basically means that 1602 will be in the game. I think a lot of us did think that anyway when they announced that medieval England was part of the story and part of Chronopolis. So, hopefully that's true, because I would personally love to see 1602 Spider-Man. I think it'd be great if he could actually turn into 1602 Peter Parker as well. I think he's called Peter Parquois or something. It's a little bit different than Peter Parker, but it's a cool version of the character, and I'd love to see him. I'd also love to see 1602 Doctor Strange. But when medieval England was announced, a lot of people suggested, you know, it might not just be 1602. They could have Spider Knight from Ultimate Spider-Man's Web Warriors, and I'm right there with you. I would absolutely love to see that version of the character because he looks really, really cool. Next up, we have this really nice screenshot of Flash Thompson, aka Agent Venom, in what looks to be the Hydra HQ. Now, I believe this is either a level in the game, or what it could be is the Hydra HQ in the actual Chronopolis hub world, because we do know there's going to be a Hydra HQ that we can go to in the Chronopolis hub world, and we have seen that there's this huge section of that map, which is basically just run by Hydra. The whole thing is Hydra inspired. It is crazy looking. Now, I also have a very short update on the character creators. So, Stephen Sharples, who's of course the game director at TT Games, was asked a few weeks ago if we could change the colour of helmets using the character creator. Well, he has now confirmed that you can actually change the colour, and they're now up to 19 different helmets. So you can change the colour of lots of different helmets in LEGO Marvel Super Heroes 2. And honestly, that number might even grow by the time the game actually comes out. And this is really exciting because what does this mean for the colours in the game? You know, how far can we go with the changing colours aspect in LEGO Marvel Super Heroes 2's character creator? Personally, I think it would be amazing if we can actually colour pretty much any piece. I mean, imagine if you could make like a symbiote Spider-Man 2099 and then you choose webbing for the character and it's black. We've never seen a symbiote 2099 Spider-Man in the comics, I don't think, so it'd be really cool if I could actually make that in the game. But of course, we will just have to wait and see. Moving away from characters for a second, we also have some vehicle details. So, Stephen Sharples has also confirmed that there will be both land and air vehicles in LEGO Marvel Super Heroes 2, which is awesome, but hopefully we might even see water vehicles as well, because I would love to be able to explore Lemuria in a submarine. That would be amazing. And thanks to Arthur Parsons, we do now know of one confirmed vehicle, and that is, of course, Peter Quill's ship, the Milano. So yes, you can fly around in the Milano in Chronopolis. That is going to be so much fun. And last but most certainly not least, the final thing we need to talk about is, of course, pink bricks. Yes, you heard me right. This time around, we don't have red bricks, we instead have pink bricks. Now, Arthur Parsons has said that they can't reveal why they have made this switch from red bricks to pink just yet, but my very good friend Francesco has a very interesting theory, and I definitely think it's worth sharing with you guys. So, we all know that LEGO Marvel Super Heroes 1 had red bricks due to most of Deadpool's suit being red. Well, Francesco believes that since Gwenpool's suit is partly pink, it's reasonable to assume that she is the reason we now have pink bricks. And this also might mean that Gwenpool is taking the role that Deadpool had in the first game. Now, I'm going to be perfectly honest, I literally don't know a single thing about Gwenpool, so I couldn't say for sure that she'll be in the game, but I will admit that Francesco has a very solid theory, and I'm sure we'll find out why pink bricks are in the game soon enough. Also, one of the confirmed pink bricks is actually friendly fire, so basically during combat you can't accidentally hit someone, but if you have this pink brick unlocked and active, you can of course beat up any AI buddy, so it's pretty cool to still have that option. Alright guys, that's pretty much it for this video. Like I said, this was just meant to be a very short news update because there really isn't that much more to talk about. But of course, you got to think we got San Diego Comic-Con and Gamescom right around the corner. So I'm sure more news isn't that far behind. Anyway guys, I want to thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for lots more videos real soon. And as always, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.